PRX Paris Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, getting ready for a rare double game day for Arkansas men's and women's basketball. Later this afternoon, not just the same day that they're playing, but the same tip-off time. 6 o'clock tip for the men and the women. The women are in Oxford taking on Mississippi. The men, of course, against Florida. The Ole Miss game rescheduled. Sorry, Old Maid game rescheduled. Because of the COVID out back in the end of December. So that is why this women's team is playing this stretch of 4 games in 7 days. This is game 2 of that stretch. And, they're going to get a good Ole Miss team. We'll get into that later. The men's game taking front and center stage. And I know you guys got into it, Drew, on the morning rush today about how Gainesville has been a house of horrors for Arkansas men's basketball. I don't think it's just been for men's basketball. I think it's been for just about all the sports that we talk about with Arkansas Razorback athletics. I mean, you don't go to Florida all that often. You know, football's there, once every 5 years?
Yeah, I was about to say, when was the last time they even played Florida?
The same. Yeah, well, they played Florida in the 2020 season. That was in Fayetteville. No, that was in Gainesville, actually. That was in Gainesville. And that was...
That's right, because Felipe Franks was coming back and that was the story. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
Last time we were just in Gainesville for women's basketball and suffered a tough defeat against a good Florida team that then lost their best player, Kiara Smith, to an injury in their last game in the final seconds. But women's basketball, the previous trip they'd made to Gainesville also was a lot. That city, the one time I've been to Gainesville for baseball, the 2018 team that almost won the national title, they dropped 2 out of 3. Of course, Florida, I think, was ranked number one in the polls during that series. It's just a tough place to play. I don't know what it is about it. Is it the fact that it is the farthest away of any of the SEC teams from Fayetteville? Pretty sure of that. There are no other teams.
South Carolina might be further
away to the southeast.
I don't know. Maybe I think
it might be a little bit farther.
It'd be a tie between South Carolina and Florida, because I think South Carolina may be a little bit further east on the coast. But I don't have a map in front of me. I'm just taking a guess.
Well, but looking through here, I mean, you're talking about losing games in Gainesville to good Gators teams, national championship teams, mediocre teams, bad Florida teams. This is just a city that Arkansas has never played very well in since the mid-'90s. What is it about the O-Dome that's doing this to both basketball teams? Because the women's team was playing fairly well before they ran into Florida and completely shut down their offense. You know, the men's team is playing incredibly better than the women's team was too. But this is just one of those places that you can never take anything for granted. You know, the O-Dome isn't the biggest building. They do get good crowds, but I don't think it's quite like it used to be back when they were winning national titles. And we just saw this. I don't even want to call it a court storm. I mean, it was like a court skip. They were skipping very slowly on their way onto the floor. Not quite sure what to do about celebrating, because somebody's already stormed the floor when Auburn is the opponent. And they weren't number one either. So
they were number 2 Kentucky. And dude, did we find out if they were fined? Did they get fined for it?
I would figure they have to be fine.
You'd have to be. I mean, it was somewhat of a – students were on the court, right? So
Drew, it doesn't matter if it's 20,000 people or if it's,
exactly.
If it's 500, right?
It should hold the same weight. So they should be having to pay, I guess this would be their first offense, $100,000, because that's what is the first one, 100, then it goes to 250, and then 500.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I don't remember the last time Florida stormed a court, but I don't think that's going to happen this time around. This is a matchup of two really good defensive teams. You already know that about Arkansas. Florida's been offensively challenged of late. That might be the nice way to put it. They have trouble getting into the 70s. In fact, only 2 of their last 9 games has Florida even scored in the 70s. And it's getting kind of tough to get into the 70s against this Arkansas team that didn't even allow Tennessee into the 50s. What do you want to say about this one today, Drew? I don't even know what the betting line is, but I would be taking I'd be looking at the under potentially due to the idea that these are 2 really good defensive teams. You never our Arkansas's offense has traveled a little bit in the last couple games. Are you ready to feel confident that offense will travel farther away than anywhere else they have to travel for a conference game and against a really good defensive team? Can this offense travel? Can JD stay on the floor long enough to do his damage? Does Stanley Amude have that outside shot that to me seems to be like the X factor into whether or not Arkansas's got the offense going, or if they really just have to rely on their defense?
Well, and that's the big question, and it always does start out with what does JD Notae do? I mean, the guy is the second leading scorer in the SEC, a guy whose your offense is not just run through this good stretch, but it's ran through him all season long. So that's the biggest question when it comes to offense, because I think JD, by scoring and by having his shot there and being on the floor, it does help open up other guys. It helps open up Jalen Williams, at the block with his turnaround jumpers or him underneath the basket. It opens up, Devo Davis, if he can continue his little 2 threes a game streak that he's had here going the last, I think, 2 or 3 games as well. You talk about Stanley Amude. Can he keep it going from beyond the arc to give you that type of support? So you'd like to think that offensive travel. But the one thing we do know defense will be there, because whether it's been home, away, heck, he could put this Arkansas team in the middle of China, and I bet they'd play incredible defense, just the way that they have been playing the last month and a half stretch of basketball. So you feel good because defense does travel and because Florida's not that great of an offensive team. And, just by watching the last few minutes of the Florida-Auburn game on Saturday, Florida was up by 9 or 11, somewhere around in that range, with like a minute and a half to go, and just completely gave Auburn every chance that they wanted to get back into the game. Now, Auburn ultimately screwed itself by not figuring out how to get a shot off within 15 seconds and trying to pass the ball in the final 2 seconds, kind of a hook pass around a defender. They kind of screwed themselves. But Florida has that ability to collapse if it does get into that type of game. So you feel good, but like you said, betting line, not really sure what the spread is, but if the over-under is set at 145, I'm taking the under.
It's pretty much a pick 'em. Arkansas opened as a 1.5 favorite, but judging on the 6 or 7 lines this app uses, it's a pick 'em, and the over/under is about 135, which right now,
that's close. That's close.
It's very. I mean, that's the one that makes you think.
Yeah, it does.
That's like a 68-66 final score, 68-67-ish final score. And honestly, for Florida getting to 65, I think is going to be a tall order. This is a team that scored 72 against the worst defensive team in the country in the SEC recently, Georgia, in a home game. I don't think they quite have the firepower to be able to overcome Arkansas's defense and the way that they've played, because Arkansas's played well defensively against every sort of team. Teams that shoot from the outside, teams that have speed, guard-oriented, forward-oriented, work it down low. And Florida's also just not I a high-octane team. They're not going to try to get the ball up the floor as quickly as the Razorbacks do. In fact, looking at the stat page here, Arkansas has taken 90 more shots in the same amount of SEC games than the Florida Gators have. And that sounds like a lot. Arkansas averages 6.5 more shots per game than Florida, which to me kind of does come off as a team that's going to have a little bit more of a faster pace. So, the ebb and the flow of the basketball game and all of that, this to me feels like a game. If Arkansas comes out and plays like they have been playing early, they can control the tempo, and I think Florida would have a really difficult time storming from behind against Arkansas. So a key for me in this one is Stanley Amude from the outside today, because that is an X factor for me. Like Amude from the outside is the difference between Arkansas scoring like 69, 70 points and getting into close to the 80s or even in the 80s. And I don't think you're going to lose a game if you're Arkansas and you get to 75 points. I think that's about a number that you're really not going to lose many games in regulation if you score 75 the way this team plays defense.
No, you're not.
The ability to hit from the outside, to me, Stanley Amude, that's an X factor for today's game. Not even an X factor. That's a huge factor for this game, and I think moving forward for the rest of the season.
It is. And, we've talked about what J.D. Notae brings to the table. If he can, stay out of foul trouble, obviously what Jalen Williams brings. How much productivity do we need from Trey Wade tonight? I don't know if that's ever really been in anybody's formula or it's ever been calculated in anybody's really breakdown of the game and keys to success, because what Trey Wade brings to the table is that defensive mentality. It is playing.
And every once in a while.
And every once in a
12,
while,
13,
you take
as long
it.
as it's Mizzou, right?
Exactly. You take it, but I don't think anybody expects it or really, puts it in the keys of the game. I don't think Chuck and Z are going to be talking today and breaking down the game and, hey, we need Trey Wade to really step up here. Need him to score a few points. Need him to get either close to double digits or in double digits for Arkansas to stay in this game, because that's not what he does. And that's not what you really needed him to do, because you've had the consistency from J.D. Notae. You've had the consistency from Jalen Williams. And then you've had the consistency here of late from Stanley Amude. And, hopefully Devo Davis can, like I said, continue to score, continue to stay around that 8+ point clip to give you another offensive option.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes if it's not Wade that's giving you 10 to 12, you can get that kind of production sometimes from Audis Toney.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to get from Jalen. You have a sense of what you'll get from JD as long as he's on the floor and not dealing with foul trouble. He's going to give you, that 18 to 24, 25 that hopefully will be enough. But I would imagine Arkansas probably scores more than the 58 they put up against Tennessee, even on the road, even against a good defensive team. And for me, that's a matter of keeping J.D. Notae on the court. We'll get into this more later on in this hour with Curtis Wilkerson from Hogs Sports, digging a little heavier into this basketball game, and your calls and texts as well. It's a little bit of a bummer for me today, though, guys, because, I like to watch the men's games when they're occurring. I'm going to have to follow it on the stat monitor at the exact same time the women's game is going. This is rare. In fact, I can't remember another time where we've had a men's and women's conference game occurring at the same time. Been doing these games.
Guessing it's very, very rare.
Yeah, 8th season doing this. And before I did Arkansas games, I did UALR women's games. And for a long time, we did double headers. Because it would kind of help save some travel with the men and the women, not traveling together, but going to the same city at the same time and vice versa. So you kind of got used to it. This is different. This is a lot different than usual. So I'm not used to not watching the men's basket or any piece of it whatsoever. Like, I missed a good chunk of it from last Saturday because of baseball, but I was able to watch the second half. I don't think I'll be watching much of it, if any of it.
Yeah, probably not.
I'll know the outcome. And I might be a little too tired to watch it tomorrow morning before the show.
I was about to say, thank goodness for DVR and, going back and to be able to watch it on ESPN Plus, and plenty of options to watch afterwards.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they lose, I don't know if I'm going to go back and watch. Like, that's one of those things.
I'll watch it for both.
Might Mike Neighbors was telling us yesterday about what it used to be like when he was growing up in the 70s, and on Saturdays, you want to watch the Saturday night movie on NBC. You kind of want to stay up late to watch some of the comedy shows, Carol Burnett and stuff like that. And then he said, and then at 10:30, the tape delay of the Razorback basketball game might come on a Saturday night. And I thought to myself, I was like, wait a minute. Tape delay?
Oh, yeah, it's a real thing.
Yeah. Tape delay, it was a real thing. And those were for conference games, too. Mind-blowing.
Oh, I've heard of it before. My dad would go to Memphis games, race home just to rewatch it. Like, he was just there. Like 2 hours before, would get home so he could watch it on WKNO in Memphis, Tennessee, the PBS station, just so he could rewatch the game.
So he could see if he made the crowd shots?
Maybe. I don't know. But apparently he used to drive my mom insane.
I loved watching replays of the game of my team winning games. It's torturous to go back and watch your team in a game that they lost and you knew that they lost. It's like torturing yourself, man. What would you? It's like getting a crappy recipe from a restaurant in a place that you hated and deciding to make that stuff at home. When you know exactly that the recipe
how
was
it's going to turn out.
That it was bad anyway. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Except just to anger yourself and then call into a sports show and tell everybody what you saw that was wrong.
Yeah, then to yell at us, I guess.
Yes, you can yell at us too, and some of you actually like to do that. So if you want to, 877-377-69. Center in Alma, the RV center that's been serving the River Valley for 72 years on 17 acres at the junction of I-40 and I-49, easy access to the River Valley and in Northwest Arkansas. What's on those 17 acres? 26,000 square foot indoor showroom floor, an RV park, service and parts department. It's all there in that one convenient location, and they're there to serve you Monday through Saturday. So go by and see Bert, all the gang, where they've been voted best of the best for 7 years in a row. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, right next to the Cracker Barrel. All right, stay tuned. Halftime is right back.
Why not? They pay paradise to put up a parking lot.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
They rushed the court after the Auburn game, and I think you tweeted, like, why can't you rush the field at Baum? How would that work?
I don't know, man. I just thought it'd be a cool idea. Football, basketball, maybe baseball too, but it's a little different. Baseball's been so successful, they're almost expected to be number one, so it would have to be a super unique situation.
The Diamond Hogs podcast is the premier Razorback baseball podcast. Find it on the Hit That Line podcast network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Spring crappie season is not far away, and Jelco Outdoors is stocked up on all the fishing gear you need for the spring season. Timmy Tom jigs, Redneck Rubber, and Bobby Garland baits, K9 fishing line, Todd Huckabee rods, Shimano, Lew's, Zebco, and Abu Garcia reels. Just arrived, the all-new JB3 American-made rods. Get ready for spring fishing at Jelco Outdoors, your store for work and the great outdoors. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Sports fans, sick of the Omicron and the coronavirus? Fed up? You've got the coronavirus blues, but baby, we have the cure. Wash your hands, sign up, and play with BUSR.com. At BUSR.com, you get everything: a casino, racebook, and sportsbook. Play blackjack, roulette, and over 200 casino games. Bet on sports, horses. Want more? How about a 100% deposit bonus exclusively for ESPN Arkansas listeners? Just go to BUSR.com/Morning Rush. That's BUSR.com/Morning Rush. BUSR, the cure for your coronavirus blues.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rodgers in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
So it looks like Aaron Rodgers is setting everybody up for a big day tomorrow whenever he goes on the Pat McAfee show. You knew this was coming.
Oh, yeah.
You knew that any announcement he would make make a big deal of the day before on social media and then do it on the Pat McAfee show where he releases all of his stuff. And this is it was an Instagram post.
Yeah.
Is this a breakup? Is this also a breakup post to Shailene Woodley? Because I've heard that their engagement has been called off, and he shared some thoughts to Shailene in this Instagram post that also seemed supposed to mostly be about football and his Packers teammates, but he threw in the, I think, former fiance to this as well. I mean, this is just some rambling stuff from a guy who's very good at rambling around.
It is quite weird. I mean, especially when you get the TMZ reports last week that they had supposedly split up, and then he tags her in the post saying, thank you for showing me what true love is, basically. Thank you for loving me and supporting me through everything. And then you're kind of like, well, are they? Aren't they? And then he goes on to, like, thank all the guys he's shared a quarterback room with, all the players on his whatever the Friday crew is, and then other teammates, and then everybody else about how much gratitude he has for everything. It feels as close to a goodbye without saying goodbye.
The words goodbye are not on here at all, but it's like one big GOODBYE. Although he doesn't point that he never makes it seem that he's leaving, with the exception of just thanking people, including Shailene. So I don't even know if the relationship is over or not. And he might just be having fun with the websites that reported this thing is over. So it's
I mean, he could be. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is that classic pretty girl from the movie who says that she's just like everybody else, but then as soon as a nerd approaches her, she goes, ew, get away. So she's like, I'm just like everybody else. I just want to be myself and be who I am. And then people start to treat her like anybody else, and all of a sudden, that's not right. Like that's Aaron Rodgers in a nutshell. Of I want my privacy. I want to be left alone. I wanted to be treated like any other person. But oh yeah, let me throw this out there to you. As soon as y'all kind of forget about me for a minute, I'm gonna just keep throwing stuff at you to remind you that I'm still here.
Yeah, and he thanks Jordan Love in this. I mean, at least he mentioned Jordan Love.
Yeah, that was nice.
In
Personally tagged him too.
Well, there's a tension between legendary quarterbacks and their backups, and the guys that are assumed to be the next man up, and I was reading up, I guess one of the more famous ones is Joe Montana, Steve Young. Like Steve Young sat behind Montana for a good long time. I think it was 3 or 4 years. I think he won a couple of Super Bowls even before he got a chance to start. And, there were reports the two didn't like each other very much. Young shot that down. Montana a few years ago said that it was really just, hey, I'm doing my best to keep this guy on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're going to go hang out together.
I'm not going to be buddy-buddy with my replacement.
Right. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger, I don't think he and Mason Rudolph had a very warm relationship.
I mean, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it was reported that they didn't like each other and that it's not like Brett Favre was real mentoring and taking him under his wing.
I don't know if there's a lot of instances where that is the case. There's one quarterback on the field. You got to be, I'm not going to say selfish about it, but you got to do everything you can to ensure that guy who's holding the clipboard just continues to hold the clipboard. But it did seem, what was the reason that Aaron Rodgers was ticked off to begin with? That they dared draft a quarterback.
Exactly.
That they dared draft a quarterback in the first round. I think that probably had more to do with it. I don't know if Roethlisberger was all ticked off and the Steelers selected Mason Rudolph in forget if it was the second or third round, but it wasn't the first.
It was a day 2 guy, so he was one of the two.
Well, now the Steelers are saying Rudolph is our man moving forward for next year, and that elicits.
How do you feel about that one?
It's expected. I don't think they don't feel that this is not a great quarterback class in the draft. I don't think that they're in the position that they want to blow up the salary structure within the team after getting a giant salary off the books in Roethlisberger and bring on another one that might not necessarily be an Aaron Rodgers, or Deshaun Watson. It's like, well, if you sign Deshaun Watson, how many games does he have to sit? And there's some bad PR that might go along with that too. So,
which is that ever going to get situated and figured out? I mean, we're coming up on almost 2 full years of this.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, there hasn't been any further developments in the story. Don't really know what's going on with because it's a civil suit against him. It's not a lawsuit against him. So,
but that doesn't have anything to do with whether or not the NFL will.
But until that's all
suspend him.
Until that's all situated, he's not taking a snap for the Texans, and nobody is taking him off the Texans either. So that's got to get fully situated until Deshaun Watson ever sees the light of day in the NFL again. And I just don't know how we haven't had an update in so long. It feels like almost a full year. Like it's kind of been in the background. Like, hey,
it's totally been in the background.
What's Deshaun Watson going to do? Well, what's
he
going on with that case?
Field.
Yeah,
he never saw the field last year. I guess the Texans were pretty good at
On a Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games.
These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rodgers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, good morning, Captain. Good morning to you, sir. Hey, yeah.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
JT in Hot Springs trying to come at me about, oh, his heart breaks for the Steelers to have a mediocre quarterback. You have Dak Prescott. He's too high paid to be his, sort of whatever he is.
I mean, I'm kind of with JT. I'm going to just play the world's smallest violin there for you, Phil.
I don't need the violin.
I know
don't
you
the Steelers
don't.
even need a violin. They'll have a running game. They'll have a defense. They'll have a game-managing quarterback. They'll be 9-6-1 for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
It's
and
just a fact.
I was about to say, in all honesty, I'm going to be the one that needs the violin when we still end up splitting with y'all next year.
It's 9-7-1 now. That's right. 17 games. We've got Curtis Wilkerson with us from Hog Sports. Curtis, can you answer the question why Gainesville is such a hellhole for Arkansas men's basketball? And you point to maybe the Gators have been a good team throughout the years, and that's the case. But I think Arkansas has shown up a couple of times with a better team than Florida has, and it's just doesn't make any sense to have this many losses in a row in one place. What can you make of that?
I wish I had the answers there. It's incredible, and you're right. There's a pretty long stretch there where Florida had some really good basketball teams, so it was obviously going to be a difficult place to go down and play. But Arkansas has taken some really good teams down there and lost too, and it's just been a mixed bag of disappointment. So you look at the kind of the recent history, and Arkansas has taken a few on the chin. I mean, there's been a few blowouts down there where they just have gone and not played well. There have been some 1-point losses. I mean, so it's last-second heartbreak. It's just, complete full-on bad games. I mean, you name it. They've just really struggled down there, and I don't know why. But, you look at it on paper, this matchup tonight, and you got to like Arkansas's chances. And I think if it was anywhere else besides Gainesville, you'd probably feel really good about their chances. It was interesting, Hog Stats comes up with all these incredible lists, and I was looking through one of them earlier today, and it was, Arkansas's last win against every conference opponent on the road. You trickle down, and you get down to the 13th team on the list. It's Mississippi State back in 2015. It's 7 years, but it's not that long ago. And then Florida all the way down there in 1995. It's just it's baffling. And no, I don't really have an answer for it, but I hope Eric Musselman and the Razorbacks do tonight.
Well, they're a great defensive team, I guess. I wouldn't say great. Arkansas has been a great defensive team. Florida's a good defensive team, but they really lack firepower. But they didn't necessarily need a ton of firepower to beat Auburn at home a couple of days ago. I mean, they held them to 62 points. So for me, why is Florida so good defensively? And then the other aspect of this is we've seen the Arkansas offense begin to travel a little bit more. And, defense is traveling. Offense doesn't always, but it seems recently it's begun to.
Yeah, it's a good point. And Florida is a good defensive team. And to answer your question, I think it starts under the rim with Colin Castleton, kind of like it does with Jalen Williams for Arkansas. Castleton, 6'11", a mobile guy. He's second in the SEC in blocked shots. Really does a lot for them. And just his presence under the rim, I think it probably gives their guards on the perimeter a little more confidence to be aggressive and get active out in the passing lanes, maybe take some chances that they normally wouldn't because they know, hey, if my man gets by me, I've got a good rim protector to kind of sure things up on the backside. So I think that's helped them a lot on the defensive end. And to go to Arkansas's offense on the road, it's interesting. I heard you guys talking about it earlier. I think it starts with Stanley Amude. His splits from home to road are incredible. I mean, he's averaging about 10 points per game at home, and it goes up to 15.7 on the road. His field goal percentage is about 14% higher on the road than it is at home. His three-point percentage goes from, I think, 27.7 to over 55% in road games. So I don't know what it is about Bud Walton Arena that, the rims aren't quite as kind to him, but, man, he's really been providing a huge boost offensively on the road, and especially when he's knocking down threes like that, it opens up so much for everybody else. So he's definitely one that I'll have my eyes on tonight. And then you look at a guy like an Audi's Tony, you know what you're going to get out of Note and Jalen Williams, especially if they're staying out of foul trouble. But a guy like Tony, he's one that can give you a dozen on a given night. he's 2 of 17 in his last 3 games, and a lot of those shots for him, we know, come around the rim. It's an interesting slump for a guy. I mean, going into that stretch, his field goal percentage was 57.1. That's incredibly high and efficient. So you got to think at some point here he's going to get that figured out. And if he breaks out to go along with some of these other guys, I think we'll start to see the offense really start to come around.
And when you talk about Adis, Tony, I do think that he is a guy that you do need some offensive productivity. And I know Musselman said it early into the season that he gets most of his points on hustle plays, on putbacks, and that they don't run any plays for him. Do you think that down this final stretch it might be wise to try to get him more productivity on the offensive side to possibly put in a play or two for Tony? And, I'm going to add this as a two-parter here. Is Devo finally becoming the Devo that we were hoping, or at least kind of expecting him to be this year?
Yeah, so with Tony, it has been interesting. You're right. He's a guy that they don't run a lot of things for. He really creates his own just with his energy and effort levels. And it's kind of been fascinating to watch because he's still been super aggressive on his basket cuts and attacking the offensive glass. I mean, he had 10 rebounds against Tennessee the other day. But those shots right around the rim that he would typically finish, he hasn't. But, another thing that he's been really good at is absorbing some contact and getting to the free throw line. His free throw rate is one of the better ones in the country. And he's knocking them down at over 75%. I think he was 6 of 6 in that Tennessee game. So, I think probably just got to shake it off a little bit. And he probably just needs 1 or 2 to go down early, and get a little bit of that confidence back. But I think if he just kind of maintains the same effort, especially as good as he plays on the defensive end now with what they're asking him to do, you should be able to get a pretty good spark from him. And then it's interesting, you mentioned Devo, and this is a guy who's had an up and down season as well. I think everybody knows what he's capable of. And he's really provided a boost lately. I think the good thing about Devo is his defense has started to come back around. We remember how elite he was defensively in the NCAA tournament, and he's really gotten back to that. It's relentless when he's really digging in on a guy. He had 5 steals in a game. I guess it was 2 or 3 games ago. That's what you love to see from Devo, and his offense is always a bonus. And, we've kind of gotten used to, the mid-range jumpers and just kind of the herky-jerky nature of how he, takes guys off the bounce and gets to the rim, finishes with that left hand. But it's been a 3-point shot in the last few games. He's knocked down a couple threes in the last 2 or 3 games, and it looks good, and when he's catching those, especially in the corner, in rhythm and getting right into his shot, maybe not so much off the dribble and forcing it. That's a quality shot, and it opens up a lot for Arkansas. I think he's playing with a lot more confidence than he was a couple weeks ago. And, it's like Musselman said, whether he comes off the bench as the first guy, 3rd, 4th, whatever, he views him as a starter because of the value he provides. And now he's really starting to play like it, and I think that helps the Razorbacks a lot.
Mm-hmm. And Curtis, going back to last Saturday, the red out, the atmosphere that was Bud Walton Arena against Tennessee, on a national and more of a big-scale picture, how important, how big was it to really have all those former Razorbacks in the building?
I mean, it's incredible. And Musk said it after the game, he spent a lot of time in the NBA, in the league, in the professional ranks. When guys get a break, if it's NBA All-Star Weekend or whatever, most of them aren't trying to go back to their college. They're going to Cabo. And he's 100% right. And, you'll see guys trickle in here and there, and they support their school. But, man, to get all of those guys back, and not only that, but to get them involved the way they did. I think everybody's seen at this point, having some of the pro Hogs announce the starting lineups. It's just such a creative idea. They had him out there during a timeout doing the Hog call. Getting them involved like that, I think it really speaks volumes, especially on the recruiting trail. Because when you're trying to decide, what school maybe you want to go to, how are you going to be received when you leave? Does the family atmosphere, does it stop when you graduate or when you go on to the next step of your career? Or is that a place that you can always go back to and call home? And I really think that Eric Musselman's done a fantastic job of just creating kind of that family culture around the Razorbacks. And it wasn't just pro Hogs. He had the Martin twins, a couple guys he coached at Nevada, who who came to Arkansas for the game because of the relationship they had with each other. One of the grad assistants on Arkansas staff now is their brother. So, I mean, it's just fantastic. And, yeah, it's definitely something that it's a big deal on the national scale. People notice it, and it only helps the Razorbacks.
All right, before we let you go here, Curtis, hopefully nobody's looking too far ahead to the next game, Saturday, Kentucky. You wouldn't be we wouldn't blame you if you were, because anytime Kentucky comes in to Bud Walton, it's a crazy atmosphere. But you have an opportunity to have one of those, like special nights. And that's why I'm kind of hoping that Kentucky beats LSU and both teams come in with, red hot. But what would Arkansas need to overcome Kentucky and specifically to overcome Oscar Tshiebwe?
Well, I mean, the Oscar Tshiebwe thing, I don't know if anybody can fully overcome that. You just hope to beat him in all the other areas and get away with a win. He's been incredible. But, it's interesting that you think about the emergence of Jalen Williams and what he's doing as a volume rebounder, especially in the SEC. He's one of very few guys that can, kind of hold his own on the glass against a guy like Tshiebwe. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup. And it kind of depends on what Kentucky you get. I mean, they beat Alabama, over the weekend at home, but they were without their starting backcourt, and Ty Washington is just a really talented freshman, and Severe Wheeler, I think, is dealing with a wrist injury. Those guys are kind of day-to-day. You don't know how healthy they're going to be, but it does change the dynamic of their team a lot when they have them. So, one thing you have to think about is the health of Kentucky when they come in, but you're absolutely right. It's really shaping up to be a special day in Bud Walton Arena. Actually, I think I was talking to Ty about it going into the Tennessee game. We're talking about Kentucky a little bit, and the students are always rowdy and the younger crowd, but the older generation of Razorback fans, they hate Kentucky, and so you're going to really have them involved at a high level too. So it's fantastic as the Auburn crowd was, the Tennessee crowd the other day. This might just be at a different level. So, I agree. I hope both teams handle their business this week, because if they do, or whether they do or not, it's going to be fantastic. But if both teams are coming in off of wins, I mean, it's just going to be, it's going to be insane. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah. Pulling for Kentucky kind of makes me feel a little bit dirty, but I can do it for a game, I guess.
I don't know.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, no. We'll have you on again, Curtis. Always appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hey, that sounds good. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate it, Curtis.
You got it. Curtis Wilkerson. Give him got to follow his coverage at hogsports.com. He's one of the best basketball writers you can find. Also, got to get a hold of Riley Farm Dental if you want to have a place that will make your life better. Comfortable experiences in the dental chair. That's Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan. Serving to give patients all those things we just mentioned. Dental procedures, including braces, implants, and cosmetics. They've been voted top 3 best of the best 4 years running. Riley Farm Dental is 226-3500, RileyFarmDental.com. They're right at the entrance of Riley Farms at Highway 71, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. Stay with us. Halftime to wrap up the first hour after this quick break.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Start the new year at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's Grill and Cantina has daily specials like Mexicali Monday with 2 of your favorite sides, Taco Tuesdays with crispy tacos just $1 each, and don't forget everyone's favorite Fajita Fridays. And watch every Hogs game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every televised game. The best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
At Frank Rowe Furniture in February, already marked down low sale prices plus no sales tax. That's right, you heard it right. A sale plus no sales tax. For instance, a recliner regular $6.99, sale price $5.99. With no sales tax, $5.39. That's a savings of $160. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no credit check financing, SNAP, and ASEMA financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. Pay for every dance, selling each romance.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Oh, boy. Drew's got on our rundown here that we can start downloading mobile sports betting apps.
Darn right we can.
You're pretty fired up about this, aren't you?
I need my vice. I need the action, Phil. I live for the action. Scared money don't make money.
I don't know if I've ever heard Drew quite this excited before.
I need to put a random, $10, $15 on a random West Virginia game on Wednesday. Maybe I've got a real instinct about that BYU basketball game. Or maybe, I like what Florida Gulf Coast is doing right now.
Is your favorite segment of television each night bad beats on Scott Van Pelt's
I did watch
Center?
that this morning. And I've had some of those really bad ones. Maybe not as bad as the one that he showed with Kansas last Monday, where all they needed to do to get the team over was score 1.5 minutes. I've never had that happen to me, but I've had some pretty bad beats. But it's just more fun to watch sports, and it helps you watch games that you really don't have an interest in if you put an interest into it. You put some cheddar on the game, you find yourself actually caring about the outcome.
Well, that's why I hear people like to bet on sports.
Exactly.
Because it gives them a reason to watch the game, and you don't have to worry about, well, I just hope everybody has fun, and I'll root for a team based upon the color of their uniform and whether or not I like their coach. So, how many of you are going to be doing the online sports betting? I mean, some of you already do anyway. I mean, there have been all of these
just offshore accounts or
out of state and offshore options, but I mean, this has never really been my thing to put money down on sports, and the illegality wasn't the reason why. It's just because, well, I guess there's a couple of things for me. One, I think I have an addictive personality, so when I get into something, I really get into something. And that's a dangerous thing to really get into.
Yeah.
Especially when...
I mean, it can be a dangerous game. You got to be able to have fun with it, but not take it too far.
Well, and
I've never missed a bill payment. Let's just say that. I enjoy doing it, but I've never missed a bill.
Yet. We have all of these research capabilities at your fingertips, man. I mean, I know how to go into all of these websites and find little bits of info and whatnot. Could waste a heck of a lot of time, all to lose like $50 on a night, and I'd just be like, I didn't just lose the money. I just wasted my entire day.
That's gaming, Phil. You win. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. And sometimes it rains.
I hope sometimes it rains.
Think about it.
Because that's all it's going to be for me if it comes to this to this mobile betting. But hey, good for the folks who want it, who feel that they need it, and it's going to be legal in 10 days. Woo! So have yourself a good time before March Madness. Hour number 2 of halftime coming up after this.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here at Randall Ford, 5500 Rodgers Avenue in Fort Smith. No, you got a Boston trip coming up, and I know you're flying this time, but one of the things that you've done over the years is driven vehicles to all these different places. You're telling me you spent 2,100 miles on one trip, and man, I'll tell you what, this new Ford Bronco that you guys have, it might be the perfect vehicle.
Absolutely. It's all set up for exactly that. They didn't go after these wine and dine things. They went after rough and rugged. They wanted to be able to find different people, and they researched it and was able to build a vehicle that fit what you wanted to do. Do you like it in the water? Do you like it out there on the hiking trails? The Ford Bronco was the way to go. You guys need to come out here and check us out. See where we're at. It's the 4th oldest Ford dealership in the country, 5500 Rodgers Avenue, or 24 hours a day at randallford.com.
Noel was saying if you want to come see the Bronco, it's on site. It's here. You got to come see it at Randall Ford, 5500 Rodgers Avenue in Fort Smith.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rodgers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, another big front pushing through. We're looking at an increase in the clouds. Showers, a chance of some thunderstorms for today. Temperatures actually falling into the upper 40s across the north, holding in the mid-70s south. Will be colder tonight, overnight lows, low 20s north, mid-30s south, and possibly some freezing rain on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Proceed.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Get that temperature dropping back into the 20s for later on tonight as our roller coaster February continues throughout the natural state. It'll warm up again. Just give it a few days. It's just going to be kind of miserable for a little bit here.
What's it like in the Magnolia State?
It's beautiful in Oxford. We're in the 50s, I think, now, but temperatures dropping. It's going to be raining here very soon. All that rain you had last night,
it's coming
we're about to get it here. Yeah, it's headed here. It's a good thing the game's indoors. 6 o'clock, Arkansas, Mississippi women's basketball.
I don't mind the cold. I just hate, like, today where I wake up and leave my apartment at 5 o'clock and it's 60 degrees. I go home for lunch at 9:15 and it's already 40. Like, I don't like that sudden drop. Like, it just, it almost, like, gets down into my bones quicker because I'm just not expecting it.
There was one day last week where I had to turn on the air conditioner, throughout the evening and in the morning, and then by the evening time, I had the heater on.
It's crazy.
Man, Matty, it's that familiar smell when you've had to do that. You know what that smell is like because the air conditioner doesn't smell like anything. Once you turn the heater on,
yeah, and all that stuff.
There's that scent again of heat and fire. And after it was nice and warm outside, to have to do that in your house, man, that stinks. We got answers coming in about this fine for Florida. $50,000 for the first offense. Was this the first time they've ever been fined under this policy? This has to have been the first time they were fined under the policy. Arkansas was fined previously. That's why you had the $100,000 for the Texas.
But when did it happen before Texas? Because the first fine is $50,000.
Man, I think was it an LSU football win?
No, it could probably be
Bielema.
When does it reset itself, though?
I don't know.
It's got to reset at some point. No. It can't be.
Yeah, you can wear these for the rest of your life, man.
It can't be forever.
It goes on your permanent record.
It can't be forever. It can't be like that. There's got to be a reset button that you can hit.
Yeah, like in 20 years, if they storm the field at Reynolds Razorback Stadium, it's up to $500,000, right? Just because of what happened this year. Wouldn't that be ridiculous?
That is ridiculous. Probably what I think Hunter Yurchek's a great AD, but I don't know if he'll be the AD in 20 years still writing that check. That's not very fair to the next guy or the guy after that.
No, it isn't. But then again, is it always about fairness anyway? Or is it just about lining the coffers of whatever foundation they're going to be giving this money to? Because it can't just be for a pizza party for the office members of the SEC office in Birmingham. As much as they have enough money for pizza. They don't need any of that. Yeah, it was 2014. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was the LSU game, 2014, to win the boot back. That was, I forget if that was the game that ended the SEC losing streak that stretched back a couple of years before because they had the back-to-back wins, Mississippi and LSU. And I remembered them storming the field for LSU. That's the first time Arkansas got the fine.
Okay.
So I guess Florida's never done that before, and that wasn't getting their money's worth with the students just sort of like tiptoeing down the stairs. Are we allowed to get out? Is this the right time to storm the floor right now? Should we walk? Should we run? Should we do handsprings?
It was weird, and by the time that there actually became somewhat of a crowd on the court, the players are about to walk off. Like, they met the players, like, almost outside of the locker room, almost. Like, they were just, like, on the edge of the court, and they were just, like you said, kind of just looking around, tiptoeing, and like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And then, like, half of them stayed back. It just wasn't the big lineup and anticipation of it like it was for Arkansas Auburn the week before. And you don't storm the court on a team a week after they had just lost and the school before had stormed on them. Now you just look like copycats and already creates a bad look to a bad storming look.
Just pump Auburn's ego up a little bit as to the level of their program, I guess. But, I mean, and I feel like lost in this conversation about the handshake line that's come out from the Michigan-Wisconsin dust-up is, does anybody care if they're shaking hands?
I mean, Tom
fans
Izzo
are
does.
Storming the floor. Well, I know
Not when
Tom
they
Izzo is.
storming the floor.
But when they storm the floor, nobody seemed to mind very much that Auburn and Arkansas never had a chance to shake hands after that game a couple of weeks ago. Because according to Tom Izzo, if you don't shake hands, then you've just lost every piece of sportsmanship that's possible here.
Well, in his response to it, because I mean, he was asked. He didn't just come out, but you could see that he was really excited that he got asked about the handshaking after the Michigan-Wisconsin stuff. And
What if you just fist bump?
See, he doesn't like that. He likes full-on sportsmanship, shaking hands. He said if the other team doesn't show up to shake hands, you best believe my guys are going to be there to shake the air. And he goes through this rant of, we tell young people they don't have to go to school, so now they don't go to school. We tell young people if they don't like a situation that you can transfer out. Now we're telling young people if you're mad, you don't have to show sportsmanship and shake the other hands. And that's what's wrong with this country. I'm not making that last part.
He summed it all up.
He
That is what's
literally
wrong, yeah.
used the phrase, that's what's wrong with this country.
It's all
like,
of society's
that is
ills.
old man grumpy vibes, dude. Like, you can't
Look,
be saying
I'll say young folks today.
I mean, he might as well.
He
They're
did say
ruining the
kids
country.
today. I'm pretty sure
He did?
I heard kids today.
Oh,
That
he
would be
did,
the same
yes.
phrasing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, kids today. Because he kept saying,
Look,
we're
I'm all-
teaching kids today. We're teaching kids today this and that.
I'm all for sportsmanship. I really am. Yeah, exactly. They're
Unless it
17
comes to
21
to
years of
referees
age.
coming by and trying to fist pump you before games. You're all for it except for that, right?
Next time, unless they drop it, if I can drop a 20 in his hand. They haven't asked for that this year
Well,
either.
that's
They
good.
just look at us cross-eyed and they're basically like, please don't make fun of us if we make bad calls. I'm all for sportsmanship, but some of it feels forced.
It is forced.
I mean, when you're going down a handshake lane and you go, good game, good game, good game, good game, they don't mean what they're saying. They're not saying good game to anybody. They're just doing it because that's what's expected of them. Like, it's different when you're in a, there's one thing about baseball, right? All right, so in college baseball, after every game, I see Dave Van Horn and the coaches come behind home plate and shake hands with the other coach. I don't see that from the players. They're all out there celebrating their own win.
Oh, yeah.
When a series is over, the teams line up and handshake like a hockey postseason series. That, to me, is where, like, the handshake tradition for me is where I first saw that. They don't do it in the regular season in the NHL, but when the series is over, even guys that have been literally bashing each other over the head with a stick then shake hands. And it does seem, in some cases, very heartfelt. Hockey players have even those who they hate, I think they have a grudging respect for each other because it's such a frustrating sport to play. But that's a tradition going back years and years and years. In Major League Baseball, you ever see anybody shake hands after a game?
Heck no.
Hell no. They go back into the dugout. They go into the clubhouse and go kick a wall or punch a locker with their non-pitching hand or something like that.
Outfielders
in the NFL,
do their poses and their weird handshakes and jump ups.
In the NFL, it's like it's a bunch of guys that in some cases know each other. They're coming over to say hi to each other and a handshake and a hug and a good game and that stuff. But it feels more like a reunion of sorts than necessarily like a really good game. That's what they do in the NBA too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not expected to have a handshake. But in
honestly-
college sports, it's expected that you do the handshake. And is it because it's quote unquote kids? Are we teaching? Are we trying to teach sportsmanship to them by shaking hands or fist pounding or good game, good game, good game? Again, when you just go down the line and you don't actually look in the person's eyes and say, you know what, that play that you made in the third quarter when you posted me up and you dunked on me, that was a great play. Please don't do that again. That's actually acknowledging somebody who competed with you instead of just going down the line and giving
Going
the
through the
pump,
motions,
pump,
yeah.
pump.
I mean,
it just looks fake.
Let's keep the sportsmanship aspect to high school. Like, I get high school and below because those are kids, right? So we want to keep that's a weird thing about college-age humans, I guess, because half the time people want to classify them as kids, as, oh, those dumb kids, they don't know what they're doing, they're going to make a lot of mistakes. And then half the time people want to classify them as young adults. Half the time they want to classify them as full-grown adults. So, like, when you get into that weird age, let's just leave it to the actual kids. We're teaching sportsmanship to kids playing t-ball. Let's keep it to pee-wee football. Let's go up to high school with it. You know, I have no problem with that. When you get into the college level where it is more of a business than just for the love of the game, then yeah, we don't need it. It's okay to be done with it.
I wonder how he feels about the pat on the bottom. You know, usually that goes, especially in baseball. They love to just give a good job pat on the bottom.
Love a good.
Nobody from the other team is going to smack another guy from the other team on the backside. That's just a teammate. That's just for brothers, right?
Yeah,
I always love to try to
It's weird when
compare.
somebody else does it, but if your second baseman does it as you just threw out a pitch and he comes by and like, hey, good job, like it's cool. It's like, thanks, bro.
You can do this in all other areas of life too. Maddie, do you and Drew ever, when you're walking out the studio together after a really enjoyable,
that's how I know when it's been a good show.
Yeah, so he always smack you on the butt. Way to go, Maddie.
Sometimes it's a little bit too hard, but
so
you never hear me complain.
If it's just a good show, I'll kind of just get my stuff and I'll start to move out of the way. Great show. I'm standing right there. I'm waiting on Maddie going first.
And if it's a really, really great show, he cups his hand a little bit when he does
and then
it.
rub them together and go, great show, Maddie. That's how it's
done.
done.
The smack, the better the show was.
Darn right.
It's every once in a while, Maddie might squeal for joy. The other thing about this whole thing with Juwan Howard and Greg Gard, if it was sportsmanship that this handshake line is about, a blow-by, which is what Howard was trying to do to Gard. Blow-by.
That's not sportsmanship.
Kind of reach. That's not sportsmanship at all. In fact, that's the opposite of it. Sportsmanship truly is letting go of the ego for the moment, whether you won or lost, looking deep into your opponent's eyes, seeing into his or her soul, and really letting them know
and meaning it
that they just played a good game and meaning it. That's sportsmanship. Blow-bys, fist pounds, good game, good game, good game. That's not sportsmanship. Sorry.
Or the people that just like in high school, the guys that just look the other way or talk to somebody else and just hand down the line. Like, get out of here, man. Like, there's no really need for it. There's the argument of, well, we're setting a bad example. We're teaching these kids it's okay to take your ball and go home, and that's what's wrong with this country. Bro, there's a lot of stuff wrong with this country, and I guarantee the 18-year-olds didn't start it. So let's not blame we're teaching the kids and the younger generations wrong things. That's what's wrong with stuff. I'm pretty sure they were wrong before, and it's not their fault, so don't blame them.
Look, I think Tom Izzo is a man that's full of heart. He kind of has a soul about him, to me, is what it seems. So I'm sure when he does shake an opponent's hand, when he has shaken Juwan Howard's hand, I'm sure he has stopped there for a moment and made sure to tell him all the things that Coach Howard did during the game that he appreciated and respected and can't wait to play you again. And they stand there for 5 minutes, and the next thing he realizes is, oh, my gosh, the bus is waiting for us to go here in Chrysler Arena. We're going to have to leave. So I'm sure Michigan State's handshake line is the longest handshake line in the country.
If we're that upset about
377
handshakes in college basketball or college sports, then let's just bring back the what they do in the Bad News Bears. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Michigan! Yay! Good job, other guys.
Man.
Like
way?
If you're gonna get upset about a handshake, then you should get upset that we don't chant "We appreciate you, we appreciate you." Like, come on, bro.
That's like being told, "Bless your little heart."
Exactly.
You really,
We know what it
that's
means,
the exact
bro.
way to piss off your opponent. We also appreciate Cheap Sleep Furniture and Mattresses. That's the home of the largest same-day selection. You see it, you get it, no waiting. Cheap Sleep has been locally owned for 16 years with great customer service. They overstock with up to 75% off retail prices all year. Serta, Sealy, Beauty Rest mattresses are up to 70% off. They have more to choose from, a wide variety of couches and love seats as well, starting at $8.99. Plus, same as cash financing. No credit needed at all at Cheap Sleep Furniture and Mattresses, located in Springdale, Bentonville, Conway, and Fort Smith, or on the web at cheapsleepnow.com. Halftime is 877-377-6963. Calls and texts are coming up next.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Attention all ball players. The closing date for the 2022 Fort Smith Youth Baseball and Softball Spring Registration is February 26th. Go to fortsmithybs.com and hit the sign up button. Teams for ages 4 through 15. Find them on Facebook at FSM Youth Baseball Softball. If you're 13, 14, or 15 years of age, there's a league for you. That's Fort Smith Youth Baseball and Softball. Find them online or Facebook.
It's time to stop searching and start driving. Between February 16th and March 7th, get $70 reward card or virtual account after online submission. With the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires, including the Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire. See MichelinMan.com for complete details. Offer expires March 7th, 2022. Void where prohibited.
Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin and Southern Tire Mart.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And till February 28th. Get no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to ashley.air.com to schedule your appointment. That's ashley.air.com.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Springtime is around the corner, and River Valley Truck Outfitters is here to get your vehicle ready. Window tint specialty, WeatherTech accessories, and more. Ask about the residential tints and commercial tints that are now available. Springtime is near, and River Valley Truck Outfitters will get your vehicle looking good on Highway 71 at the top of Rye Hill, where you can get special wheels and tires and more. Your one-stop truck accessory store, 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer. Pours like every other seltzer. But it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal. So you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rodgers in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Weird Al Blues to bring us into this upcoming segment. We got a text here from Jackson and Fort Smith that to me says a lot about what some of this handshake line is and why I don't really believe that it's all about sportsmanship. Like, that might be the reason you want to do a handshake after a game, but that's not necessarily the way it's going to be portrayed by the people doing the shaking of hands. Jackson and Fort Smith says all 3 years in high school, Greenwood beat us, and every single year they would say, "Y'all suck," in the good game line at the end of the game. So it wasn't a good game line then, was it, Jackson? It was a "y'all suck" line. That doesn't sound very sportsman-like to me.
When I was playing sports, I was in more of those type of handshake lines than the genuine good games. I could probably count on like an actual genuine good game, like actual sportsmanship handshakes on like one hand, where a lot of them were these going down the line just cussing at somebody or just, saying bleep you, bleep you, bleep you, bleep, 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 bleep you, you're cool, bleep you, bleep you, bleep you, and just picking a random guy.
How about this? I mean, Tom Izzo might say that this is one of the problems with the country and the problems with kids today. What about the problems with the grown adults who take umbrage at certain unwritten rules instead of just focusing on their own team? How about that? Is that not a problem, too, in coaching and, and in athletics?
It should be. And that's the thing. When the question got asked about should we get rid of handshake lines, he, at least in the clip of the answer, the 2-minute rant that he went on that I watched this morning, he never mentioned the actual situation. He never mentioned that this wasn't the players, the student athletes, or whatever you want to call them, adults, young adults. I mean, there's so many different names that so many coaches throw out there every single time when they want to get a different point across. It's like these guys aged 5 years up or 5 years down, but he never mentions them. He only mentions them. He never mentions Juwan Howard or Greg Gard by name. He never mentions that it was the adults' fault. The adults started this. So why are we now blaming that we're teaching the kids today that it's okay to take your ball and go home and not show sportsmanship when it wasn't the kids who weren't showing sportsmanship?
Right. Don't make it look like it was like this was a great show of sportsmanship when Greg Gard and Juwan Howard came together, because one was about to give a blow by, the other one stuck a hand in a chest and stopped him, and then the other guy grabbed him by the clothes, and then all heck broke loose. It was the adults that ruined the problem. Maybe the adults don't need to fake sportsmanship when they don't feel it. Charlie's up on halftime here. Charlie, how you doing, man? Good to hear from you.
Can you guys hear me?
Got you loud and clear.
Yeah, we got
yes,
you.
but you're late.
Are you? You're fired, Charlie. You're late.
I know. My job told me that too. Man, anyways, guys, I really want to talk about yesterday. I really appreciate you guys being supportive of me and letting me kind of talk about that yesterday. I was going to say one more thing about it. My first name is actually Steven, by the way. My middle name is Charles. I was named after my granddaddy. His first name was Charlie, and my dad's name is Steve. So there you go. It was backwards. Mom did it backwards. I always tell her, but I go by Charlie. So anyway, I just wanted to say that it was. I think Phil, you had mentioned you were named after your granddad or something like that.
Yeah, he was Harold Phillip. I'm Philip Harold. That's
my
right.
middle name's my grandfather's name. Garth.
My first name is my grandfather's name, so we all get it.
Yay, grandpas.
Yeah. We've got a club. Yeah. We should rename the show Grandpa Sports.
Yeah, no, oh, me. I hope it's a long time before me and Drew are grandpas.
Oh, I do too.
Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the game tonight. I think it's going to be, it's one of those games where I'm not going to be upset if Arkansas were to come up short in it, because I just think, when you go down there, you know it's going to be hard to win. It's similar to the Alabama game, but one thing that I think Muss has been preaching, and that's been a good message, is you can still get better even when you lose. You can still get better when you win. You go watch that tape and you evaluate it and you improve. And one thing we know, this team's going to be in the game because I don't think anybody can blow this team out because they're just too good defensively. And, it's not like we're going to go down there. I don't think we're going to go down there and lose, 10 or 15, unless we just don't play defense. But, I don't see that happening. I think we'll defend, we'll guard hard, and as far as, if we're able to score enough, that remains to be seen. Stanley's been really good on the road. Can he, put together another really good road performance? And not necessarily making threes. We know he's been shooting the three ball well on the road, but can he just put up 20? Can we get that? And some other guys do some other things because the thing with it, we know Jay Will's got the good reputation for the charge call, but there's going to be a game or two where those calls don't go his way, and so we got to be ready for that. And
that's true. And this is one area, Charlie, where I'll just cut in for a moment. Especially on the road, the officiating can be the thing that is like the fly in the ointment. Like if you played the game that you played against Tennessee at Bud Walton on the road, are you getting all those calls that you got? I know this was a topic I heard that Ruskin and Zach had brought up, and we talked about it briefly yesterday. Oh, those tons of offensive fouls in the Tennessee game, more so than you'd usually see, and even a couple of them, it did look like Jalen might have been moving. So part of this is reputation. I think part of it is a major part of it for Jalen Williams' reputation, because we just don't see them review the block charge call unless you're in the restricted area, and he always finds a way to be outside the restricted area. So yeah, the officiating on the road is the thing that could be, for today and any other road game left, the fly in the ointment, because I think you need J.D. Note on the floor as often as he can be because he's the one guy you can count on to score, and you need Jalen Williams out there too. Yeah, right. So that to me, and who knows how this game's going to be officiated on the road. It is SEC officiating, right? So who knows?
Yeah, and I think there's been some games down there we've had chances to win. In recent history that, it's just been a few calls here or there. Even the Alabama game that we lost, I just felt like it was a call here or there. The thing is, we're going to be in the game, and it's probably going to come down to that, like you said, a few calls here or there. And, JD is that guy that can kind of, but, and I think Devo, it just depends. And that's the thing, though. That's the good thing about this team is different guys are stepping up and doing different things. Yes, you need JD on the floor. We know that, but if he does get in foul trouble, because JD's aggressive. But that's part of what makes him good defensively is because he's so aggressive. So, Jay Will, I will say this, and I understand where Coach Barnes was coming from some standpoint, but I think I saw maybe one where I questioned, whether it was the correct call or not. I think the other three were pretty legit. Jay Will gets there before the guy, gets in the shooting motion or the passing motion, whatever you want to call it, and he's just sitting there waiting on him. And Jay Will is good at that. And, that's an art. A lot of people it's not easy to do. It's a timing thing. It's not like everybody can just do it or more people would be doing it. So you got to give Jay Will credit for being able to do that. And honestly, in a way, it's not as momentum shifting as a block, but it does change the possession immediately. So in a way, it's better than a block. So anyway,
Charlie, I think the reputation.
Guys, I appreciate it.
Charlie, I think the reputation that Jalen has earned is very well earned, and this goes to in an official's mind, and I'll compare it to baseball for a moment here. Like a catcher that's good at framing pitches on the edges of the zone, or a pitcher that's just known for working on the black and having really good command. Sometimes you feel like those guys get calls that maybe they didn't deserve because of the reputation. But baseball's a slower game. You know who's pitching, who's catching because they're stationary. Basketball's different, but the reputation for drawing charges and being at the right place at the right time is well earned. And officials are human, but is the game too fast, to be able to tell immediately when you blow that whistle and in the mind, you don't have all that much time to decide what it is that you saw. Do you always know who it was that was right there at that moment? And I would think, like, if an official is conscious that that's Jalen Williams that did that, I think more than often, more than 50% of the time, because of the reputation, he'll get the call. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the official stinks. That means that Jalen Williams is really good at doing that. He deserves some of those calls.
Yeah, and we see it at the next level even more in the NBA. I mean, they called the superstar treatment for a reason, that you see guys that have a reputation of either being great scorers or of just having that superstar status, that they tend to get calls more often than not. One, because depending on who you're talking about, some might be more up in arms, more animated, so refs don't really want to deal with that night in and night out, so they might be a little bit more lenient with it, and others just have a reputation of not fouling, so or not creating that type of situation where there would be a whistle. So when a whistle is blown, it's automatically almost assumed that it's the other person's fault, and you see that in every level of basketball. And Jalen Williams is the best example of that at the collegiate level, I think, right now, because of has he hit 40 yet? Or is he,
from what I read, I think it's 41.
He's 41. I mean, when you take 41 charges, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt, because I don't know if there's anybody north of 20 besides Jalen Williams.
Just like, did Tom Glavine really deserve every strike that he got called?
Probably not.
I don't think he did. But
he's Tom Glavine.
A little bit of the same thing. JW is on hold. Let's take JW, and then we'll take the break. JW, how are you?
I'm good today. This windy, I guess it seems like March, but it's February. You were talking about, I think Drew's got it right. I sometimes go to my grandson's basketball or t-ball games or whatever, and the line seems kind of contrived. They just look like they're lucky to survive the game, and their parents and everybody else there, and they're just going through the motions, kind of. But I remember really distinctly my Little League games at the end of the game. I remember the dust and the big moss flying around in the lights. I remember the catchers stripping off the gear, the rest of us we all had our own bats, finding our bats. The pitchers putting ice bags on just plastic bags full of ice on their shoulders or their elbows. And what was interesting is that if we had a game whether it was a close one or a blowout, if there wasn't bad blood between the teams, after we did the 2, 4, 6, 8 thing, we'd go over and seek somebody out and talk to them and say, we wish you lived closer, we wish you lived here, you could play on our team, that sort of thing. Now, if it was bad blood, our coaches made sure that we packed up our stuff and stayed on our side of the diamond. That's just how it was. But I remember it distinctly, and to me, that's more sportsmanship than having something that's it seems almost like a staged event for somebody. I don't know who it's even for. I don't know if the adults like it, or I don't think it teaches the kids anything, but that's just me. Anyway, love the show today. Y'all doing good.
Thanks, JW.
Y'all get it out of boy. I'd probably come up. You were walking out. I don't know if I'd slap you on the butt, but I'm about to say, nice show today, guys.
I appreciate it. We'll take that, JW.
Look, I don't like fake actions.
No.
And this goes to the idea of even, an athlete that so openly tries so hard in such a public way that it's, look at me because I'm playing so hard. It feels like eyewash. That's a baseball term that doesn't get used in a lot of other sports. What some of these handshake lines is eyewash. Look at us. We're going to do what we're expected to do. We're going to say good game, good game, good game. We're not really going to mean it. We just want to get back to the locker room, get on our street clothes, get out, and go get something to eat. It's eyewash most of the time. I don't really think that they care about praising the opponent. So, but look, it's not going away. I don't think it has to go away. It's become this kind of like a tradition. Unless
will it be missed? Will it be missed?
No.
I mean, will anybody, if it does go away, is anybody going to be, let's say it goes away at the end of this season. By this time next year, is anybody going to be like, well, I mean, it was a good basketball game, but it was ruined because there was no sportsmanship. They didn't shake hands.
No,
such a selfish bunch of kids these days.
Nobody cares. The only thing you ever want to watch, the only reason you'd ever watch the handshake line is because the coaches were shouting at each other during the game, and you want to see what happens if they do come together.
You want to see the drama of it. That's it. Not for good sportsmanship.
Otherwise, it's boring and it's eyewash. All right. Don't forget, Joe's Grilling Canteen has got a big day today, Tuesday, and a Razorback game. So Tuesdays are Taco Tuesdays. You get your crispy tacos, beef or chicken, just $1 all day long. $2.25 for the pork carnita tacos and $3.25 for the brisket tacos and pork belly tacos. 75 cents for your sides. But it's also Razorback basketball on the TVs at Joe's Grill and Cantina, which means half-price apps and taps during the game. I don't know any reason why you wouldn't go to Joe's Grill and Cantina and spend the entire freaking day and shake everybody's hand around the restaurant as well. Just make sure you wash your hands before you eat. You can go to joesfortsmith.com to make your order, or just visit them across from the Harps in Fort Smith, Joe's Grill and Cantina. And halftime will come right back after this quick break.
My face ain't looking any younger. Now I can see love taking her toll on me. She's gone. I better learn how to face it. She's gone.
This is Toyota Tuesday.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Print and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, everybody. You got baseball coming up this weekend as Arkansas visits Round Rock, Texas. AAA Stadium, right outside Austin. Beautiful ballpark. I haven't been there since 2004. It used to be a Texas League ballpark, and they've built onto it since. The Hogs games have been moved earlier in the day for all three of the games. It's because temperatures are supposed to get into the 30s in the evening in Round Rock this upcoming weekend. So they're not going to force Arkansas or anybody else to play in temperatures quite like that. So instead of a 6 o'clock first pitch on Friday, it's going to be 4 o'clock, and those 2 hours will make a pretty big difference. So 4 o'clock Friday, the Hog baseball team plays Stanford at the same time on Saturday, and also a 4 o'clock finale against Louisiana on Sunday. So this is the already this is the first change in first pitches, Matty. But at least
I know,
at least we've gotten like 4 or 5 days notice.
That is true, but it came like not even 5 minutes after I got finished this morning, and set me back about an hour and a half or redoing everything.
So because
then I had to delete the entire day and regenerate. Yes, I had just finished it, and so.
Welcome to Matt Travis's personal hell.
It's that time of year again.
College baseball season. That's exactly what it is for you.
Once we get through about mid-March, so it normally balances back out, right?
It seems like it had to have been like the first 3 or 4 weeks last year that every weekend there was like a last-minute rain delay or some kind of change.
We had an ice storm on the opening weekend. We had to push the whole thing back one day. So, that was pretty much exactly the way that the rest of the season went for weather. But then, now, look, maybe, just maybe, because football had the best weather in the history of Razorback football, at least I would assume it was, felt like it was, that you'll get good weather for baseball season.
It's knock on wood, just already, in case. Don't want you jinxing it.
Already you got a little bit of a moving in the start
I think I did jinx it yesterday because I told Drew yesterday, I was like, I've been looking at the weather. It looks like it's going to be fine in Round Rock.
He really did.
And not even a day later, the forecast changes.
Got to watch it, man. You got to know the jinx is there.
I asked Oliver Grigg, Arkansas Baseball SID, about this note because, look, starting pitching was not a strength for Arkansas baseball last year. The Razorbacks last year had a total of 13 starts of at least 5 innings.
Wow.
Out of a team that played like near 70 games, for only 13 of them to get 5 innings. You look at that and you think, how the heck did this team win every series for 15 weeks when you got barely, 4 innings from your starting pitchers on a routine basis? But so you already have 3 starts of 5 innings or more this year. So I think starting pitching could be a bit more of a strength for Arkansas baseball this year than it was last year.
I think it could too.
Having a few more innings out there would be a good thing. It's going to, if you have pitchers that don't have a ton of experience that you want to get innings, asking them to pitch 1 inning instead of 2 or 3 is a nice thing.
Yeah, it definitely is a strength, and I want to say this, and I don't know if I'm using it in the right term. So feel free to make fun of me. Let's not put the wagon in front of the horse here. Let's wait. Let's give it a few more weekends to see if it really is going to be a strength. Did I nail it? Did I pull it off?
I think that is how it's supposed to be.
Does that sound right?
Cart before the horse.
Wagon or cart.
Either one of them will work.
Okay.
Either one of them will work.
I mean, because it sounded great in my head, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to say it." And then at the last second, that little voice was in my back of my mind going, "You'll say it wrong." So
wait a minute. Is the horse supposed to be at the front of the handshake line, or is it the cart at the front of the handshake?
And what happens when you smack the horse on his bottom?
He's going to kick you. So I wouldn't don't involve a horse in a handshake line, even if you're playing a team that's, like.
Do they have handshake lines in polo matches? Because then you would have to evolve the horse into the handshake line.
That's that. Ooh, wow! Now you're talking. That'd be the sort of handshake line that would be like hockey, because those hockey players are using these sticks to cross-check everybody, and they might hit him, in the back of the head every once in a while on that. Could you imagine the damage you might do with a polo mallet?
Yeah.
And
a horse.
You might just want to.
And you're on like a ton-pound
and
animal.
A horse. I always remember one of my favorite George Carlin lines about sports was he doesn't even want to get started about talking about water polo because it's extremely cruel to the horses. Halftime's brought to you by Wave Rural Connect. It's live in the Clarksville zone, covering areas south of, areas north and west of Clarksville, Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, and all the areas in between. If you live there and you're an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member and you hate your terrible overpriced internet, well, Wave Rural Connect has great, fast internet that won't buffer, and it starts at $49.95 per month. Call them at 833-4WAVE-RC, 833-4WAVE-RC, or just go to signup.waveruralconnect.com. Wave Rural Connect and Arkansas Valley Electric, changing the communities they serve. We'll wrap halftime up right after this.
When the dealer's done dealing, and I'm forever on a roll. That's how she's got me feeling. She's right on the money. She goes direct to my heart.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith now has vaccinations available for ages 5 and up. Law's Drug Store has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rodgers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas, or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Finding an assisted living or senior care facility is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Choose the best. Hopes Creek in Van Buren. At Hopes Creek, your loved one will be in apartment-style living, eating 3 home-style meals daily, and receive the care and services they need. The round-the-clock nursing staff monitors health needs in a secure, monitored environment. Plus, you can check on your loved one anytime with 24-hour access. Stop by for a visit at 2502 Fayetteville Road, or check out Hopes Creek online at hopescreek.com.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rodgers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
People have enjoyed your cart goes behind the horse, your wagon, your cart, and your horse.
Don't put the wagon in front of the horse. But Maddie brought up an easier expression that I should have said. Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah. Why can't you just keep it simple?
I know. Keep it simple. Not go, ooh, this is going to be a really good one.
And you started it off, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right.
Well, I feel like the things that people make fun of me the most about,
like
and
shoulder surgery?
I get it with, and Ty gets it all the time too, is when we say it so confidently, even though we're not 100% sure. So I wanted to just get ahead. I wanted to get ahead of the horse.
You don't want to be in a scapegoat.
Exactly. Because, it's not escape, it's just scape. And I knew that. My brain decided that it wanted to forget that day. And
you want to make sure you put the goat behind the cart, because then it can't be an scapegoat.
Exactly. You can't escape if you tie it to the back of the cart.
Boy, this is how we bring a Thursday conversation into a Tuesday conversation a few days after, and I'm glad that these things do connect.
Full circle here at the halftime.
That's right. It's all full circle.
Just one big stick.
Moving through our texts here from earlier this morning. Rick from Alma, I didn't realize, I guess, so the fines from the SEC for court rushing max out at $250,000, so you can't go any higher than that. Arkansas's maxed out. And let's just not do it again. Although, who knows what happens on Saturday against Kentucky. You just kind of get fired up when it's Kentucky, no matter what. Florida fined $50,000 for the first offense. And if that's really the first time they've ever done any kind of storming the court.
Which is why it has to be.
They probably won't do it again.
There has to be a time limit. You know what? That's my halftime homework. I know we haven't done that segment in probably like 3-4 months now. But I'm going to assign myself halftime homework to figure out the answer, so I don't keep just coming on these airways and going, there has to be a time limit, but who would know? Well, dummy, why don't I do the research?
You know how long it's going to last.
Forever.
That line will never get old.
It will not.
It will never get old. And a text out of the 479 who did not like the top 3 batters in the Arkansas lineup, which was, and I don't have my scorebook with me, so I don't know if I remember it offhand. It was Peyton Stovall, then Caden Wallace, and gosh, who was hitting third? Can't remember off the top of my head. I don't mind having Peyton Stovall batting leadoff or Wallace hitting second. And the texter out of the 479 wants Brady Slavens hitting third. I don't think Slavens is a 3-hole hitter. A few too many strikeouts, not quite as much plate discipline. I'd like to see someone in the top of the batting order to have some of that plate discipline. I will say I did see Brady lay off some first pitch fastballs that perhaps previously he might have swung at. So maybe he's taken a step forward. And look, you won't find me arguing with the lineup that Dave Van Horn puts out, whichever way he wants to put it out. And I think Peyton Stovall has the capability of being a guy who can hit anywhere in the batting order. So to have a freshman batting leadoff, I don't know enough about Peyton as a guy if it comes to how he's patient and his speed or all of that. But I know the big league scouts loved him. And if you're the leadoff batter, that means you get more plate appearances than anybody else on the team. So I'm perfectly okay with that too. Yeah, Robert Moore hit. I saw Robert Moore hit 4th. I also saw him hit 5th. So I'm fine with Caden Wallace hitting 2nd. I think he belongs there. There you go. We've made it to the end of the show. So Arkansas men and women tipping off at the same time. Let's go 2-0 today. That'll sound like a lot of fun.
2-0 on a Tuesday, huh?
On a Tuesday, but let's not put the cart before the horse. The cart has to go behind the horse.
It goes behind
and honestly, we don't talk about horses very much on this show, so let's find something else to put in front of a cart. For Drew and Maddie, I'm Phil. Find something to put in front of a cart for us tomorrow. And get up, get out, and get better.